Hey, what is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? Welcome back to the channel, and I am really excited about this one. We are testing the Wilson Staff model, brand new for 2024. Let's dive right in. All right, so you may be asking yourself, why am I so excited about this one? Well, first of all, I actually am very partial to Wilson myself. I think they're extremely underrated. They made our #1 at our 5 most underrated golf ball list, not just as a golf ball in general, but as a whole company. Their clubs, their balls, everything. I think they're very undervalued for what they produce, just based on the conversations I've had with people, and I think just how the general public views them. But that is slowly starting to change, and a couple of the things that have really propelled that forward, that changed that way of thinking, is the fact that there have been a couple robotic tests done over the last year, both via My Golf Spy as well as Today's Golfer, that have really shown that the Wilson Staff model is one of the fastest golf balls on the market, period. It consistently gets #1 in driver numbers. It's getting #1 in ball speed. It's getting #1 in distance. It's really coming off the club well. And not only that, but just the feedback in general from pros and users alike has just been, I mean, nothing short of perfect. I mean, perfection. It's almost difficult to find anyone who has a problem with the golf ball whatsoever. So with that being said, I want to see how it is for the average crowd, for us, you know, normal Joes, average swing speed. We're going to dive in, we're going to do a full test, and we're going to see if those actually match up. So let's, of course, dive into, before we get into the design of the golf ball, let's dive into the price point a little bit. So this one is $49.99 a dozen, which isn't great, you know, value-wise. It's not where we usually like our golf balls to be, but when it comes to a AAA tour level golf ball, it's not that bad. You know, it's not the $55 a dozen the Chrome Soft or the Pro V1 is. It's not the $52, $53 that the TP5 is now. So it's not bad. You know, it's actually one of the lower AAA models you can get. What really saves this golf ball is Wilson always a couple times a year will run a buy two get one free, and if they do that, it's a perfect time to stock up, because getting this level of golf ball for that price is unheard of. So, you know, Strixon and Wilson, I give a lot of credit for doing their buy two get one free sale. Father's Day, Christmas time, Black Friday, they usually do it around there, and it's a great value. All right, so let's dive into the design of the golf ball. Now, I've always been really partial to Wilson's. I think that's so classy, so sophisticated. It's just a simple black and white design. They have that Wilson logo, which is iconic. A really, you know, the font they use on their numbers, I think, being more skinnier and taller is awesome. I love how they use the logo shield, you know, just an outline of it. You know, I know it's very basic, and you might be kind of rolling your eyes at this right now, and I understand, but this really, to me, screams modern and elegance. And a lot of you are like, why do I need elegance on a golf ball? Well, you don't, but let's be honest, I've tested 130 golf balls at this point. The design is part of the golf ball, and so when I look at it, you know, I see a lot of these, and I have to, you know, have an opinion on all of them. A lot of them look cheap. A lot of them look like they came straight out of the Walmart bin. You know, the coating on the outside that's used to, you know, the polyurethane looks cheap and like it wouldn't be very durable. So when I see something that is designed with class, and you can tell someone really took a lot of interest in and took a lot of heart in, it does make a difference for me, for sure. Coming around on the side there, you'll see the Staff model. I love what they do with that, the black and white design. It's unique, it's different. They put a lot of attention to detail in there. I love the font. I've just always been really partial to this design. And the other thing I really like about the golf ball is when you feel it, it feels premium. The weight of it feels premium. The coating feels premium. The ball just has this look and feel like it's nice. It's kind of like if you've ever had a friend, or maybe you've had one yourself, but if you ever get, you know, there's a standard credit card, but then they make those metal ones that are like just a little heavier, and, you know, they have like a brushed metal look. It's different, right? You pick it up and you're like, oh my goodness, what kind of money is this? It's just a standard credit card, but because there's a little extra detail in there, you just think, oh my goodness, this is a premium card. It feels different. Why does it weigh so much? This golf ball feels and looks premium, which is what I would expect for $49.99. So great design. Let's get out to the chipping and putting green and let's see how it does around there. Okay, really excited about this one, guys. Wilson, you know, Staff model. You know, basically via robot testing, we've proven it's arguably, if not clearly, the best tour golf ball on the market. So I'm interested to see how it does. It's a 4-piece, so I expect there to be some spin. Let's see what we got. Well, not the ball's fault that it went way left. That was on me, but my first initial reaction is, wow, really crisp, buttery feel off of the wedge. I mean, it feels so light. A lot of these golf balls lately have been feeling heavy. That's not the case. This was really light. Incredible spin, incredible checkup. It was actually short of the hole. It has this decently loud click. I mean, it might turn some people off. It doesn't me. It reminds me of that traditional click I really like. But the feel is just phenomenal. Wow. And look at the consistency. That was going in the hole. If it wasn't for that other ball sitting there, that probably would have went in, or it would have been darn close. That's really great. All right, here, round 2 here. Put a little extra on it. Wow, a lot of checkup. It's not the most checkup I've ever seen, but you know, it's up there on the spectrum we have. It's going to be toward, you know, the far right of that. You'll see that in just a moment, but I love the feel, the accuracy, the consistency. Just incredible. I mean, regardless, already I've hit this thing 4 or 5 times, and I guess 5 technically, and I just feel so confident with it. Wow, yep, again, really good checkup, even on a miss hit. Everything is right near the hole. I mean, nothing is far away. I'm gonna try one more. I'm gonna see if I can get it to go left or right at all. Yeah, I mean, one of the best feeling golf balls I've ever felt as far as chipping around the green. You know, it's gotta be a 10 out of 10 there. It's been a long time since I've had the pleasure of having a golf ball like this that felt this way. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the ball to spin left a little bit. And boy, it did, especially there at the end. That had a lot of spin on it. I love that it actually ended up near the hole also. I'm gonna try to hit a really nasty cut too, see if I can do that. Wow, wasn't a great hit by me, but it still spun a lot, still forgave me. I'm still within putting distance. Oh, beautiful. Look at that bass effect. Holy cow, ball is just jumping. So much checkup, I love it. All right, so here we are. We're gonna start off with the mallet putter as always. I actually went back to the Cobra Cuda putter that I had for a while, just for consistency. I was doing this one for a long time, and then I switched to a PXG for a few, but I wanna go back to this one just for, you know, consistency purposes. Let's get a good look here. Beautiful roll, really dead sounding. I mean, really dead sounding. As far as that, you know, obviously mallet putters usually do feel that way a little bit, but no click, no sound. Yeah, barely any sound or click at all. Oh man, I thought that was going in for sure. Yeah, there's a really phenomenal roll. You know, it's not probably a 10 out of 10, but as far as sound, feel, and everything, it's like a 9.5 right now. I will say it doesn't take a lot to get the golf ball going. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a lot to get the golf ball where you want it to go. So like that one, I just hit it a little harder than I wanted to. And I mean, it really went a long way. And I think the thing is here, I'll go ahead and hit one more just to kind of show you just a really relaxed. You know, I know I'm a little short, but it doesn't take much to get it. What is that, 10 feet? You know, it doesn't take a lot at all. So there's actually a really good amount of softness, but also spring there. All right, now let's rock with the old blade style putter, an old Odyssey. Usually these sound a lot, you know, clickier just because of the putter it is. Wow, nope. Wow, again, really soft, really deadening. If you're someone who likes that soft, dead feel with not a lot of click, you're gonna like this one a lot. I actually prefer a little more click, so I'm a little disappointed there's not one. I wish it was more like the wedge, but it still feels really good. Comes off the club really well. There's a really good roll. One thing I really love about it is consistency. So far I haven't had any disparity, you know, of feeling like, man, you know, I really thought I had that one. You know, sometimes you'll hit one and you'll think, oh, I put 50% power and it goes 10 feet. And then you'll hit another one and you'll go, okay, yeah, I hit 50% power and it goes, you know, 15 feet. And you're like, wait a minute, what? I could have swore those were close to the same. That does happen. It's part of golf ball inconsistency, but not here. This is one of the most consistent I've ever putted. Honestly, I don't know what else you could really want from a golf ball. You know, I know that there are some golf balls that come out here and sometimes blow me away. But as far as being a golf ball that is extremely consistent when it comes to how far the ball travels on chips, how much it spins on missed chips when you mishit it, you know, how it rolls on mishits when you hit it off the toe with your putter or off the inside. I mean, just take all of everything around the green, and if you think consistency, accuracy, low disparity, that's what this golf ball is. I'm really surprised because I don't get a lot of golf balls like that anymore. Some are better than others, but as far as having a golf ball that just always consistently wants to be around the hole, you know, obviously I understand it's not the golf ball just being attracted to the hole, but I mean, just as far as, you know, its forgiveness and its level of consistency, that's pretty incredible. So I hope the numbers are awesome because this really has impressed me. So as far as feel across all clubs, you know, this is the sweet spot. Look, it doesn't have a feel that's going to put a big smile on your face and feel like it's really rocketing off the club, right? But it is going to feel like a perfect designed, a perfect balanced feeling tour ball. Like, you know, it's kind of like we all have our dream car, right? Like we all have our dream car that we're like, oh my goodness, you know, if I could just put everything on a piece of paper I wanted, you know, this would be incredible. But then if someone was like, okay, but realistically, what do you want? And you said, okay, well, realistically, what I might be able to achieve is this. That's what this is. It's incredible. It's not a perfect 5 out of 5, but it really has this feedback system that's phenomenal. It's forgiving on mishits. For a tour ball, it's actually pretty decently forgiving. As far as how it feels on mishits, it doesn't punish you. It doesn't rattle you. It still feels pretty premium. Once you get it right in the center, though, you really can tell. And the ball just has this really buttery, floaty, effortless just jump off the club. You know, some golf balls feel like they have a lot of power. They shoot off. This one just feels like almost slow motion. You know, you hit it and it just goes. And that's what it does. It's smooth. And it's gone. It just really has a phenomenal feel. It's not a 5 out of 5, like I said, but I would say it's a 4 out of 5 when it comes to its pure feel, and I would say it's a 4 out of 5 when it comes to its mishit feel, per se. I love it. It's as close to a 5 out of 5 as you can get without actually being there. So really phenomenal feel. And like I said, forgiveness may not be perfect, but for a tour ball, it's really, really good. It's one of the better ones I've tested. So let's go ahead and get into these numbers now. Let's see how they are. Looking at the 50-yard spin, we have 6,458, which is low. That's about 1,000 RPM lower than my average. So that's really, really disappointing. And again, when we have a ball in this price point, $49.99 a dozen, I really hold it to a high standard. And I know some of these tour line golf balls are more of a mid-spin. If you go to Wilson's website, they are pretty adamant about it being a high spin golf ball, which just isn't the case. And in fact, I actually went ahead and referenced this over to Today's Golfer on their robotic test they can do. And as you can see, this is where it ranked on its full pitching wedge shot. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know right there. It's actually not that high of a spinning golf ball. And, you know, is it enough to where it's not going to stop on a green for you? No, it's going to stop, but is it going to have a type of control and stop on a dime that some of these high-level golfers are looking for? Probably not. All right, let's get into the 9-iron now. 1.36 on your smash factor, which is really out of this world. I mean, that's 0.1 better than the boost, which, as you know, what happened there. 149.2 on your ball, on your distance. Excuse me. 150.3. Those numbers are insane. I'll get to those in just a moment. 109, that's a new record as well. It's just incredible. 5,914. And then 19.4 on your launch angle, which, you know, surprising enough, I love everything that golf ball did. It's weird that my 9-iron turned into a 7-iron. I mean, that's really significant. But what's really interesting is that if you are not a normal watcher of this channel, we just did a test on the Wilson Boost, which was a $10 a dozen golf ball from Walmart, and it broke the records for 9-iron. It's actually right in line with this. I'm going to put these numbers up so you can see them. This is the difference between these two golf balls, and the main thing is, you know, you're looking at very close ball speed, you're looking at very, very close, you know, distance, but the reason that the distance wasn't as much on the Boost is because the Boost got more spin. If you look at the Boost, it actually got 6,456 RPMs of spin compared to the 5,914, and that 500 RPM is the difference to give up a few yards. So that's why there was a difference there. So when you really look at these numbers and compare them side by side, yes, record-breaking, amazing, I love it. But I also got the same distance basically out of a two-piece golf ball that costs $10 for a dozen. But I also got more spin. And right now, I know we're not very far into the performance, but right now, just off the 9-iron and the 50-yard pitch, if you said, Nick, which one are you taking? Right now, I'm taking the Boost. It has better numbers, but we're not there yet. So let's keep going. Let's get into the 7-iron. We are looking at 1.35 on your smash factor. We're looking at 166.1, and we are looking at 168.7, 116.7, which again is kind of hilarious because this and the Boost are just right in neck and line. And then 5,038, it's again a low spinning golf ball. It launched 16.4, which is, just slightly lower. It's kind of a low mid. I actually don't mind that. That's one of the higher launches I've got in a while, which is really good. Again, really phenomenal numbers there, and I love the performance I got. But again, I got those similar numbers with the two-piece, and the problem is right now it's like, do I spend 50 a dozen or do I spend 10 a dozen? And it's like, I'm getting similar numbers. Actually, I'm getting better spin with the two-piece. I know, again, cross-referencing the Today's Golfer robotic test, the Wilson staff model just does not spin that much, which is why it's a distance king. That's why it is. That's why it's a distance king on a bunch of different websites, because is it fast off the club? Oh boy, you better believe it is. It's extremely fast off the club, just springs and jumps like a rocket ship. But also you combine that with low spin, you're going to get a lot of distance. So that's not necessarily a deal breaker, but let's go ahead and keep going to the 5 hybrid now. Let's see what we're working with there. 1.41, not as good as the Wilson Boost, actually. That's kind of funny. Now we're doing basically a direct comparison. 192.6, 197.8. Those are incredible numbers. 128 on your ball speed, which was not quite as much as the Boost, but still pretty incredible. And again, low spin, 3,832. That's really interesting. 14.6 on your launch with the 5, which is actually really good. Just slightly low mid again. And then, I mean, yeah. And here's the thing, right? It's really unfortunate the timing for the review of this, because the review we just did on the Boost really was something out of left field. And I know there's probably a few of you right now that are just shaking your head like, what are you talking about? You're comparing apples to oranges. You're comparing something that's supposed to rival the Pro V1 with a Chinese Walmart golf ball. I get that. But numbers are numbers. Like I tell you numbers, the numbers are numbers. I don't make them up, and it's not an opinion. Numbers aren't an opinion. Numbers are numbers. And right now the issue I'm having is that consistently across the board, I have 2 golf balls that are just distance kings. They're breaking records with my mile per hour. They're breaking records with the distance. They feel amazing. They just jump off the club. They have just this incredible consistency and feel. And one of them is $40 less a dozen. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I like the look of this better. Do I like the look of it better for $40 more a dozen? No! That's the issue I'm running into. So going into this review, I didn't even plan on doing a comparison between the Boost and this, but it actually, I mean, it's the same company. It kind of makes sense to do that. I'm running in kind of to a real problem here. So let's go ahead and get into the driver and let's see how that goes. 1.43 on your smash factor, which is slightly below average. 227.7, that's a really good number. 236.6, a really good number. 141.9, really good number. 2,449, which is mid-spin. And then a launch of 15.3, which it launched decently high. Actually higher than average. So, and I've actually been working on that as well to try to get that back up. So, good driver numbers. So, again, across the board, really a 9 out of 10 performance on almost everything. There's some minor tweaks I wouldn't mind having, different launch angles, maybe a little more spin. But as far as, ball speed and everything this ball's intended to do and everything that everyone's talking about it doing, it's doing really, really well. It's doing really well. And those are some awesome numbers. As far as ball speed, if you're a ball speed fiend, this is going to do you a lot of good, I can promise. Let's get into durability real quick, and then we'll kind of touch on some really, maybe a little long, I apologize if it goes too long, but some conclusion thoughts here. Durability-wise, looks really good. You know, I mean, I would expect it to be. It's got a few scratches, a few scrapes after about 80 to 90 shots, but I still feel comfortable putting with it. I would still use this golf ball. You could definitely use it a round and a half if it lasted, even 2 rounds probably. Just depends on how rough you are on it. But overall, it's still really good, and I've never had a problem with Wilson balls when it comes to durability. They've always done really, really well, so it doesn't surprise me. Okay, so, you know, let's go into a conclusion here, because this review has kind of gotten cattywampus, right? I went into this really excited that this would be the best tour golf ball I've ever tested. And that actually could be true. I think it could be. When you compare it to the Chrome Soft, when you compare it to the Pro V1, when you compare it to Z-Star Diamond or Z-Star, you know, whatever, when you compare it to, you know, the Chrome Tour that came out this year, the TaylorMade TP5, when you compare it to all these, yes, this is my favorite that I've tested so far, by far. I love the feel, the look. I love what you can do with it. It has bendability, it has control. The ball speed is just out of this world. It's just insane how crazy the ball speed is. It jumps off the club, and when you hit it right, it gives you a feeling of power, like you could snap your fingers and take away half the population, like Thanos. It's truly incredible. Everything you've heard about it being distance king and being ball speed king, I can vouch for. I really can. But here's where this gets really weird. Golf Ball Addict is about testing all ranges of golf balls. And one thing we've learned in 4 years is that there's a lot of cheap 2-piece golf balls that are 5 out of 5 phenomenal. And we've learned there's a lot of $60 a dozen, you know, 4-piece, blah, 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 that's 1 out of 5 golf balls. It doesn't always work that way. Everyone's swing is different. And when you are swinging at an average swing speed, 93, 94 mile an hour with the driver, when you're swinging at that, you're not always going to be able to fully compress 4-piece tour golf balls. This is around a 94 compression. And the thing is that although yes, it does have better forgiveness than some of the other ones I've tested, I wasn't punished very harshly. You also got to remember that the punishment on mishits when it comes to golf ball forgiveness isn't always just distance. It's spin sometimes too. If you don't fully compress a golf ball because your swing speed's just not good enough, yeah, you're not going to get the distance out of it, but you're also not going to get the spin out of it. And so that can kind of hurt you too. And so essentially what I have is I have a golf ball that does truly perform amazingly, but I also just got done testing a Wilson Boost golf ball that reminds me a lot of this golf ball. It's almost like they modeled it after this, but just made it in 2-piece form. But the difference is because it's a little softer, because it's a little more forgiving, because it's, you know, for a more average swing speed, I'm getting more spin with it. And so yes, I'm getting that incredible ball speed, but I'm also able to stop on a green, which is pretty crazy. That's the difference. That's why I preach it so much. So long rant, I apologize, but what I'm trying to get across here is that there's no need for the average golfer to really go out and play these tour level golf balls. There just isn't. You know, when you start getting into the 6, 5, 4 handicap, then we can have a discussion about it, right? The reality is I have a Wilson staff model golf ball that is designed to win majors, and I am nowhere near that. I am trying to break 80 consistently. You know, my average score is like an 83, 84. You know, that's the thing. It's designed to bend left and right. It's designed to have distance control. It's designed to do a lot of stuff that I'm just really not good at. And so when I have golf ball A and I have golf ball B, golf ball A is, you know, it's a Ferrari, right? It can go 220 mile an hour. Yeah, but I'm just trying to get down I'm just trying to get to school and back. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get to work and back, and I need to go grocery shopping. You know, is the Ferrari really good for grocery shopping? No, I mean, but oh wait, now this guy over here comes, hey, he's a race car driver. Okay, he needs the Ferrari. He's the pro golfer. He's a scratch golfer. He needs the Ferrari golf ball. The majority of us just don't. The Wilson Boost is going to be my recommendation for the average golfer when it compares to this. I think you're getting a very similar performance, feel, all that stuff, but I think you're spending way, way less on it, and I think you'll get more out of it. I think you'll get more forgiveness, and I think the Boost will knock more strokes off your score. I could see you knocking 2 or 3 strokes off of your score with the Boost. Many of you already have. I've already received 10, 15, 20 emails from you guys about you went and bought the Boost based on the review, you played it, you're in love with it, and it's lowered your score already. I love hearing that kind of stuff. Please keep it going. I think that the model would add a few strokes to some of your guys's, just because I don't think you'll be able to manipulate it the way it's intended. Guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Until next time.